Hello, everybody. Okay, today I have for you a video I've never done before. I've never done a video like this, but I get messages quite frequently from people who are looking to start making their own ASMR videos, and I get asked it so frequently, I figured that I would make a video with all my tips and tricks and everything that I've learned along the way. I have only been making ASMR videos for less than a year, so I can definitely teach you what I've learned, but I'm still learning. But I've been watching ASMR for years and years and years. So without further ado, I'm going to start from the very beginning, and I'll put a little table of contents in the description so that if you're a beginner, you're seasoned, you're been making ASMR videos for longer than I have, you can skip around to different topics and questions. But I am going to start off with getting started. Starting your channel from the ground up, assuming you don't have anything prepared or ready, you have no equipment, you have no ideas, you know that you want to make that YouTube channel. So my first tip is pick a name. So this name does not have to have ASMR in it. It can be anything you want, obviously. I find it easiest to pick something that you want to be called by your viewers. I prefer to be called GB, so that's why I picked GB ASMR. But one thing to keep in mind is right now is when you should be concentrating on the first step of your privacy and online safety. So before you start making your channel, it would be one of my biggest pieces of advice to kind of analyze your online presence throughout your whole life and go through and lock down your personal social media accounts. You know, there's a lot of public domain information out there, and my advice is that no matter how private or how much you intend on sharing with your audience, you want to control that flow of information and not have other people control it for you, you know. So before you jump in, you know, assume that you will be under extreme scrutiny, and just take care of yourself, take care of your privacy, and lock down those personal social media accounts. I would recommend not sharing your real full legal name. That's not something that I thought of. It's not something that a lot of people think of. But yeah, it's better to be safe now than have to worry later. So that is step one, the pre-channel control. So once you have your name and you are all ready to be posting to the interwebs, the next step is to make a video. So, making your first video. Let's go step by step in the equipment that you might need. So the first one is lighting. Now, if you are low budget, you don't want to spend money on lighting, you can, the best quality you're going to get is by using natural light. So that means you sit in front of a window and you point your camera towards yourself with your window behind you, and you use that natural light to light your face. Or you can do what I did eventually and purchase a cheap lighting kit off Amazon. I say cheap comparatively to like the more professional lighting and backdrop equipment. And I'll post all of the equipment that I use personally in the description. So right now, I have a big softbox behind my camera, and I have just a blanket functioning as my backdrop on the backdrop stand, and it works really well. I'm shooting this at midnight, and you wouldn't even know it. So that's for lighting. You want to light your face. Advanced tip for green screen. I won't get into it too much, but you want at least 2 lights lighting your background and then 1 lighting you. I won't get into green screen stuff. I'll make like an advanced video or something. Okay, so you got your lighting. Boom. You're gonna need a camera. So the camera I use is a Canon EOS Rebel T4i. And I got this camera secondhand from a friend, and it has the standard zoom lens 18 to 55 millimeter lens. I do not have autofocus on because it's too loud and too distracting. So I set my focus before I film, and if I get closer to you, I can focus it manually while I film. So that's my suggestion. And if you're not doing a role play or anything, people won't mind if you focus in the middle of a video. It's better than looking at something fuzzy for the next 20 minutes. Or if your character needs to move in, you focus and make sure you cut that video while you're editing. Okay, so you got a camera and a lens. Another piece of little equipment you'll need is your SD card that'll go in your camera. And I got a 65 gigabyte SD card. I'm almost positive. The bigger, the better here, especially if you plan on shooting long videos. So, if you're shooting on a DSLR, for like tax purposes and such, they can't be considered camcorders, so they will stop recording at 30 minutes exactly. If you have a big SD card, however, you can just press the record button again and keep going. You won't have to stop to unload the SD card every time it fills up if you have a smaller size. So I would recommend splurging on that a little bit. You can usually find them on sale pretty well. So your SD card will go into your computer when you go to edit, and that will be your footage. So another tip I have with the cameras is to opt for one with a viewfinder. And you guys can tell that I'm staring at myself in the viewfinder right now. That is actually a beginner's, like a telltale sign of a beginner. And if you watch my old videos, I do it constantly. It's hard to focus your eyes on the lens versus the viewfinder. Lens, viewfinder, lens, viewfinder. So the lens is the viewer's eye. When I look at the lens, I'm looking at you, at the viewer. When I'm looking at the viewfinder, it's kind of annoying. And I'm so guilty of it. But a viewfinder really helps you out to make sure that you're still recording, to make sure that you're in focus, to make sure that you're framed correctly. If you're doing a follow the finger, you can see it in your peripherals. Rather than doing it blind might be a little more difficult. So that's like a little perk in a camera that I would also splurge for. Yeah. So something that I think all of my fellow content creators can attest to is that when you are filming at least once in your YouTube career, you will film an entire video and then realize that either your audio or your video was not recorded. So I have made it a point to make sure I see my audio recording. Okay, it's recording. All right. I do my video. Okay, it's recording. And when I consciously recognize that these two things are running, I'll start the video. Because I think at least 5 or 6 times over the past year, I just went on for 10 minutes without realizing that nothing was being picked up, either on the audio side or the visual side. So, if I can stop anyone from making those mistakes, I've done something here today. Okay, good. So, that is what I have on the camera. Oh, another thing that I recommend you might splurge on is an extra battery for your camera. So what I like to do is when I'm recording, I have my other battery charging. So if I'm on a recording spree and I don't want to wait for a dead battery to charge back up again, I always have a full battery. So when this one runs out, I'll switch it out with the charging battery here, and I'll put the dead battery into charge. So by the time the other battery runs out, the other one will be full again. So that's sort of my little trick as well. It's all about being as efficient as possible and making things easy on yourself. You know, try not to waste a lot of time just like waiting around, such as like emptying an SD card or having to reshoot because you didn't know that you weren't recording, or having to wait for your battery to charge. So those are some important things about the camera. Next up, the tripod, what your camera will sit on. I actually just recently got a tripod. I used to like stack books and boxes and stuff, depending on where I was filming, and it just was not worth it. I got my tripod on Amazon for definitely less than $20, and yes, it feels cheap. It's thin. It's definitely not tall enough. When I make videos standing up, I shorten it and then put it on my bed so it's tall enough. So I would maybe go for a taller one if you're a tall person like me, but it is so much better to just have something to put your camera on and you know it's not gonna fall off. So another useful but not too expensive piece of equipment. Next up, and I wrote out all these notes so I don't forget anything. Oh, the external hard drive. I'm going to show you mine. It might not eject. Oh, there. So, here's my hard drive. I put Raven on there. So this is a 1 terabyte G drive. It's just the USB one, so you don't have to plug it into power or anything. It just goes straight into your computer. So I highly recommend working off a hard drive. If you're doing a lot of editing, a cheap hard drive will slow you down. So I would definitely invest in a better hard drive if you can. Otherwise, edit the files off of your computer and just export them to your hard drive. Just saving space on your computer is really important, and having it in a portable spot is really useful. So I really love my hard drive, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's a necessity to start your own channel. You don't need a hard drive, an external one, but I found it really useful. So post-production work and editing. I edit with Premiere Pro CC, so that's the Creative Cloud version. It's a monthly subscription, so I pay every month a smaller fee, and I personally love it. I've been using it for years, so I'm very used to it. I don't use Audition or any external audio editing software. My motto is to make my videos sound as good as they can before post-production. So, because I'm not very good at audio editing, I'm not very experienced with it. So the audio tools in Premiere Pro are really good for me, and I know how to use those. So I make a new project, I make a new sequence, and the sequence is where you're going to build your video. So let's talk really quickly about microphones, and by quickly, I mean not very quickly, because it's very, very important to the ASMR aspect of your videos. So I use the Blue Yeti microphone, as do many, many, many ASMR content creators. I do think that it is the biggest bang for your buck. I think mine was around $100, and it gives you binaural capabilities. It's definitely not as binaural as having two separate microphones. It's just a very fat microphone, so the sides are separate enough that when you move side to side, it does make a difference and people can hear it, and it sounds pretty natural. I really like how rich the Blue Yeti sounds compared to like the Tascam. So on the front of the Blue Yeti you can control your headphone sounds, and on the back you'll want to control the gain. I usually have it in the middle, but it depends on what I'm doing. And then the pattern is how the microphone picks up sound. The classic ASMR setting is the interlocking rings all the way to the left, and that will give you the binaural effect. So you have your Blue Yeti set up. My setup is a bit more advanced. You definitely don't need to have this sort of setup when you first begin, but I have a Rode extendable arm that attaches to my desk via just like a clamp, so you can move it pretty easily. And attached to the Rode arm is the shock mount, and then my Blue Yeti goes in there. So it's really, really useful because it's so mobile, and I can move it and it'll stay there, and I can move it and it will stay here, and it goes up and down and all around. so with my microphone right in front of my face, you can see that I am recording. This is my left and this is my right, but with a viewer watching you, it's going to sound backwards in their headphones. This is something I found out embarrassingly far into my YouTube career. So let me tell you right now, if you record with your Blue Yeti and the blue logo and the power button, the mute button, and the headphone volume is facing you, and these two knobs are facing the camera, you're going to need to flip your audio in post-production. The other options would be to flip your video, which I did for a long time, before to just flip the microphone around completely and record facing the other way. I don't know why I don't do this. I just got used to swapping the audio channels in Premiere Pro. So there's a little tip for you guys. So another really popular question I get is asking why do ASMR content creators wear headphones? And that is because this cord goes directly into my Blue Yeti, and I'm able to hear what the Blue Yeti is picking up. So this is super useful in order to kind of regulate my volume, as well as hear what the microphone is picking up that my regular lame human ears might not pick up. So if I do hear a sound, such as somebody being loud outside or a truck passing by, I'm able to note that and maybe stop what I'm doing so that I can make a cut later. Okay, are you guys ready for another GB tip? So this GB tip is for post-production, and you do it during production. If you were to hear a loud noise, if I were to drop a prop, if I were to do something that I wanted to cut out later, anything that I want to edit out, I will make a snap, a loud snap, louder than that, right into the microphone, and that will cause my audio to peak. When I'm looking at my audio in Premiere Pro, I'll be able to physically see these peaks in audio, and I'll be able to jump right to them to sort of assess what it was I wanted to cut out. And that makes editing a lot faster, and it makes editing a lot more efficient in that it's more likely that I will catch every single loud sound or mistake or whatnot, because I might accidentally overlook a stomach growl or something because it's such a low sound. If I don't have that peak to sort of catch my eye, I might miss it. So that is a super helpful tip that has worked really well for me and sort of expedited the editing process, as well as been a really good way to quality control my content, so I'm not uploading loud noises by accident. I'll make sure to cut them all out. So the last step that I have for important post-production work is recording some room tone right after you finish recording. Just about 30 to 60 seconds of uninterrupted background noise. This is something that I just very recently started doing after getting a lot of comments about audio cutting out being too jarring. And the viewers, you guys are absolutely right. It is super jarring to have the audio cut out completely, because the background does make a sort of white noise. I'm able to use that extra audio that if I do need to cut out a loud noise and I don't want to cut my video, I can fill that gap with just some of that original white noise from the space that I'm recording in. Last tip I have for you is exporting. I know a lot of people aren't sure how to export a video for the interwebs, but the easiest go-to without being complicated is to export as an H.264, and that'll give you really good results every time. Okay, so you have your video, you have your channel name, you are ready. The next step is to upload it. So you're uploading your video to YouTube. You're going to need to fill in a title, description, tags, etc., etc. the advice for the title is to tag it with ASMR and to tag it honestly. I think that a lot of people are concerned with getting clicks, getting views. So the more clickbaity titles are on the rise all over YouTube. But my genuine advice for that is don't bother with the clickbait. If people know that when they click on your videos it isn't what they're gonna get, then they might not click on your videos anymore, even though you're making really good content. So I always try to just title my videos something interesting, but something accurate to what they're going to be watching. So the same goes with the video tags in the YouTube tag department. And as much as you'd like to think that nobody can see what you're tagging, unfortunately, people can, and they do look. So keep your tags appropriate to your content, and just be genuine and honest. And I think that sort of segues into this mini ramble that I wanted to go on. So my biggest piece of advice is to make videos that you want to make. Make videos that you haven't seen before but you want to see. And that is what's going to keep you motivated and happy and interested. And it'll attract your perfect audience. I started making videos because I wanted to see more cosplay. I wanted to see more characters and role plays. I wanted to see somebody make a name trigger video. So I decided to do that. Cosplay makes me so happy. I love costumes. I love characters and script writing. So that's what I try to make. I think it's important to evaluate and recognize your strengths and your limitations. I know that I don't have the setup to make gorgeous soundscapes or anything like that. I mean, I'm working with a Blue Yeti here, but I do know what I am good at and what I am capable of, so I'm going to focus on those things. So knowing what you want to make, and also simultaneously what you're good at making, what you feel good making, feel good posting it, and the audience that comes and watches that and enjoys that will be enjoying the genuine you. So you won't ever have to put up a front, you won't ever have to act like somebody you're not. And I think that's what has made me so happy doing YouTube, is that I'm just me. I'm just being GB. And the people who watch it like it, or if they don't like it, they don't have to watch. And I think that my viewers and viewers on YouTube are just, they can see through fakeness and just like facades. So it's just easier for everybody involved to just be yourself. Even though that sounds like really corny, overused advice. Just be yourself and be supportive and nice of the other people in the community and of people watching you. And yeah, I think that keeping the ASMR community as a positive zone is really, really important, especially to us. So, okay, I'm done preaching about that. You uploaded your video. Now it's time to share it. So I actually did 0 sharing of my videos for the first couple months, maybe. But now I feel like I've gotten a much better grasp of the social media side. So you can utilize Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit as an amazing ASMR subreddit. and this will give you exposure. It'll allow people who might not see your videos on the suggested side to see what you're producing. I found Twitter is my favorite social media, just because it is concise and it's pretty active, so I find that to be really fun. But you should use any social media that you personally enjoy. My next little piece of advice is another thing I get asked quite a lot about, and that is dealing with trolls or hateful comments or online bullying, or anytime somebody posts a not so nice comment on your video. So the thing to just keep in mind, and this is just the golden rule that I can give to you, is to know that trolls exist in every facet of the internet, and it will happen, and you just sort of have to let it go. It seems really tempting to defend yourself, to point out when they're wrong or when facts aren't right or they're spreading rumors or anything like that, but I promise you, for your own sake, and it just is better to let it go. Of course, don't compromise your safety, but in general, just like the hateful comments, oh, this video sucks, you don't have to tease them back, you don't have to try to do anything, just let that comment go and concentrate on the 99 other amazing positive comments that you are getting from people that enjoy watching your videos. My next tip involves the description box. So it might seem that the description box many times goes unread, and while that may be true, I still think it is a vital part of a YouTube video. You can put all your information in there. It saves you time from rambling in the beginning or the end of your videos, and leaving that time for your content. So I have about a 15-second slug at the end of all my videos that will link to stuff. But other than that, I try to keep everything in the description. So I love the video descriptions. I really use them a lot. Next up in your video creation process is thinking about the pacing, timing, and release of your videos. So no matter what, consistency is key. I post 3 times a week on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and I'm trying to get it down to a specific time that I post every time, but we'll get there. But even if you post once a month, once a week, once a day, it is really helpful for your viewers to know when to expect a video from you. So that is something that I started doing, and it's really nice. The people can know when to expect a video rather than having it be up in the air. And of course, this is as schedule allows, but pacing out your videos once a week is better than posting 5 in 1 week and then none for 2 months. So that is my advice there. My final little tips involve balance, and this is balance in doing video requests and doing videos that you want to do. So I would say so many, half, maybe even more, of my videos are requests from viewers, from patrons, from comments. But the thing about these requests is that I genuinely want to make them. I get a lot of requests for videos that I know that I personally am not interested in making, so it's okay to not make every single request that your viewers make. It is really important to just stay true to yourself and your channel and what you think you can create well. So the other part of that is thinking up ideas on your own and implementing videos that you want to do and you want to see, because a lot of the time, especially if a video doesn't exist yet, your audience might not even know that they want it, such as, you know, my Raven roleplays or Jessie from Team Rocket, etc. I just did that on my own, but I thought that my viewers might like it because I really like it. So just trust in the fact that your ideas are good too, and do that a really good balance of video requests and making things that your viewers want to see. And it's just so rewarding to make a video that somebody requested, and sort of trying out your own ideas and making videos that your audience might not know they'll really like. So the last part about talking about balance is just making sure that you don't overload yourself too fast. And this was definitely my problem in the beginning. I wish that I started small and worked my way up, but unfortunately I got so excited. I did bite off way more than I could chew, and I eventually had to scale down after I was completely overwhelmed and stressed. And I would definitely recommend taking on little by little, even if you're super excited. I know it's hard, trust me, I did it. So definitely balancing reasonable expectations, and this is super important if you ever decide to start a Patreon. Just setting realistic rewards and making sure that you can and you will deliver on those rewards, because I think that Patreon is its own beast, and I'm really happy to have finally figured it out, even though my May name video might be 3 hours long. I think that Patreon is such a good resource for viewers who want to go the extra step. They're looking for more depth than free YouTube videos are offering. So something like being in a name trigger video or suggesting public video ideas, handwritten letters I've seen done, little audio clips I've seen done, so just like those little rewards. So I have filled an entire SD card full of footage, which is my cue to stop talking. And I hope you guys learned something, and I hope this encourages some of you to take the plunge and start your own ASMR channels. If you guys have any other questions, you can put them in the comments and I'll do my best to respond. So yeah, I really like this community, and I think it's amazing how much it's been growing.